Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Now, this is a game that I purchased on the original Nintendo Switch because I thought, well, you know, Sega likes Nintendo. They've been working together quite well. I'm sure this will be a quality port of this brand new racing game, and boy, oh boy, was I wrong. Sonic Racing Crossworlds on the original Nintendo Switch was pretty much a disaster. I don't have a frame rate resolution counter or any sort of things like that, but I can tell you that that game was not 1080p, maybe 720p on a good day. I can tell you that that frame rate was janky 30 frames per second, and I know that there's people online that say, oh, you don't notice the difference between 60 frames and 30 frames. It's a myth. And to that I say, you need to unfollow those people. Because those people are lying to you. Those people do not have your best interest in mind. They want to gaslight you. Because anyone that thinks that is, like, scientifically wrong. I don't even know how it's a discussion point. But, of course, the game also came out on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series and Steam. And it looked great on all those systems. And I was like, well, good thing I bought this crusty Switch 1 game. However, to my surprise, there was an upgrade path for this game. I paid $5 United States money for this upgrade for the Switch 2 version of Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I believe the $5 is a temporary sale. I think it's normally $10. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. It showed $10 and then it had it crossed out and it was $5, so I paid $5. But you could buy the Switch 1 version of the game for pretty cheap right now with all these holiday sales going on if you want to play the Switch 2 version of this game and save yourself some coin. But should you want to play the Switch 2 version of this game? That is what we're going to talk about in today's video. So, Sonic Racing Crossworlds is a kart-based racer, a vehicle-based racer, obviously in the style of something like a traditional Mario Kart or something like that, or previous Sonic Racing games, because, I mean, everybody's Super Sonic Racing. Now, this game does have some interesting features to it, such as the ability to customize your vehicle, both in terms of aesthetics and in terms of power-up in the gear system. The more you play the game, the more stuff you unlock, the more gear you can unlock. So it encourages you to play throughout the game and want to uncover different pieces of gear and different things that you can do for your vehicle on both a cosmetic level and, of course, a functionality level. The races themselves are interesting, too, because it's Crossworlds. I'll see you at the crossroads, so you won't be lonely. See you at the crossroads, so you won't be lonely. And I'm gonna miss everybody, and I'm gonna miss everybody. I did the same thing in the Sonic 1 video. I don't care. It's a good song. But in Sonic Racing Crossworlds, you are crossing worlds. So the first portion of your race is going to be the standard track that you chose to ride on. Halfway through the race, or I guess more like a third through the race, you will then get to transform the track to another level. So it can be a predetermined one, or it can be a random one. I always like to choose the random one because, I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit more exciting. But if you're not in first place, the computer gets to choose, which I don't think is really fair. But this changes you to a completely different course with a completely different outlook. And I think that's what makes this game like so much fun, because of the fact that, you know, you always have that change that's going to happen. Of course, there are different items that you can use to hit your enemies and stuff like that. You're constantly collecting rings to go faster and keep up your speed. There are red coins on the level as well that you'll want to collect to unlock everything in the game. Very cool stuff. A game that features a lot of content in it as well, in terms of both free stuff and DLC. There's online multiplayer with a ranking system in it. That's super cool. Cross-platform play, I believe, as well. So a lot of good stuff here. I was a little bit upset that Nights is not available yet. Now, it does say Nights is coming out in December for this game, so I figure, well, you know, they're just saving it for my Christmas. This is the Christmas gift to RGT 85. So thank you, Sega, for my upcoming Christmas gift. But of course, we have to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is, how does the game perform? And I mean, you've been watching the damn footage, so it's not like this is going to be like a big secret revelation or something like that. But you know, maybe you're just listening to the video. Maybe you're just listening to it. You haven't seen any of the gameplay footage that I've recorded here, so you don't know, and you're just waiting on my words. Well, I am glad to say it is a huge step up over that. Oh, man, over that Nintendo Switch 1 version. This game runs at 1440p, 60 frames per second. And I would say 95% of the time, it looks gorgeous. And pretty much 100% of the time, the frame rate is rock solid. And well, like I said, dude, like it does make a big difference, especially in a racing game, a game that's, you know, based on reaction time and reaction speed. But like even just beyond the frame rate, like the textures just look so much better. The animations just look so much better. The level details just look so much better. Do I think it looks as good as like the PS5 and the Xbox Series and like Steam versions running on high-end computers? It's kind of hard to say. I haven't played those versions, so I don't know. I'm just kind of going by the eye test from watching people's videos on those versions of the game. But I would say, in my untrained eye, I definitely think it is close enough to be, you know, still in that conversation. Because, like I said, dude, it's just so much better than the Switch 1 version. And it's a good thing because I think this is an awesome, super fun game. You know, there's differences. There's the rival system as well, which, you know, you're kind of trying to finish first, but you're also making sure that you're beating your rival, because if you finish second, but your rival finishes in first, then you're kind of putting yourself behind an 8-ball. But if you finish second and your rival finishes in third, then you kind of still won to begin with. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself. RGT, you glossed over something, pal. You said 95% of the time the game looks great. What is that 5%? Just some things that I have noticed. The first thing that I have noticed is that sometimes there is a bit of pop-up in the background. Now, it's nothing too offensive or anything like that. I mean, it's a fast racing game, so you're primarily like focused on the course, the characters around you, and how your character is doing. But I did notice it a little bit from time to time, kind of just like zooming out with my vision of the game. And then I noticed on the haunted pumpkin level, when you go between rooms, there's a little bit of jank. There's a little bit of jank with like the textures loading in the next room. And some of the textures, I don't know, they just look a little bit low resolution. I don't know if Sega can potentially fix that in a patch. I mean, I'm sure they can, because like I said, the rest of the game looks really nice, like the water effects and stuff like that. Everything looks very clean, but for some reason on that one particular level, like I did notice a little bit of some weirdness going on. But overall, this is a massive, like I no hyperbole, this is a massive improvement over that Switch 1 version. Like, it is a night and day difference. And considering that you can buy the Switch 1 version and then just buy the upgrade path for this game, like, that is the move. That is absolutely the move for you to do right now, because now you're paying the same price as it would be on like PS5 or Xbox Series or something like that, and you're getting a very high quality version of the game. So those are my thoughts on Sonic Racing Crossworlds for the Nintendo Switch 2. Definitely happy with this. This is a game I will put a lot more time into. This is a game that I will play quite a bit, because I already deleted Kirby Air Riders. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at Kirby Air Riders for just being a... I don't know. I don't know what that game is, but I know people love it, so if you love it, that's fine. I'm just not that person. I would rather play this game. Let me know in the comments section down below, though. Do you plan on picking up Sonic Racing Crossworlds for the Nintendo Switch 2, or you going to pick up the Switch 1 version? and then upgrade to the Switch 2, because really that's the move you should do. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Hit the bell. All that normal YouTube crap. I know you expected Metroid Prime to go up today, but I need to spend at least 2 nights with that game. So now that I've played some Sonic Race and Crossworlds, I'm going to Metroid Prime 4. Don't worry. I'm planning on doing it for the weekend, because I'm sure I will have a lot of things to say about that game. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.